Why is it so important, Duncan, that a fresh business needs to keep good and accurate financial records from the moment it begins?
Well, apart from the fact that as a new start business you have a legal, a statutory responsibility for keeping accurate records, it's very important because you are in control of your business, and therefore you need to know what's happening within your business in terms of the records that you keep for taxation purposes. It can help reduce your costs if you're thinking about liaising with an accountant, for example. It really puts you in the driving seat to be in control of all of these issues.
So what sort of documentation does a business owner need to maintain and to keep? And for how long have they got to sort of maintain that paperwork?
Records need to be kept for 6 years. That's the important figure.
And what sort of documentation is included within that preparing and maintaining of accounts?
Well, it's really looking at all business transactions need to be accounted for. So we're looking at things like receipts, invoices, transactions in and out of your account, petty cash, those sorts of issues.
Could you explain to me, Duncan, what's meant between allowable and non-allowable expenses for the business?
Well, some expenses that are accrued by a business can be claimed back to help reduce their eventual tax bill. And really this falls into sort of two areas. The first of these is capital allowances. And this is usually claimed for larger items, typically over a value of about £200 to £250 that are of lasting value to a business. And then the other types of allowances are, if you like, the revenue items, the sort of day-to-day things that certain of these can be claimed back as allowable expenses.
And how do they actually keep the records that are important for them?
There's no prescribed method. It's which method is best for you. Some people, for example, use a manual method of keeping their records, keeping their books. Other people use a computerized system. Some people, it's whatever you feel most comfortable using. But the important thing is to remember that to keep up to date with your record keeping. Don't let it get on top of you. The idea of going along to your accountant with a couple of carrier bags full of receipts, doesn't do anyone any favours. So the important thing is keep on top of it. Make sure you update your records on a regular basis.
I know that a business needs to make regular national insurance contributions, but could you just perhaps explain to me a little bit why those are so necessary?
Well, national insurance contributions really protect our statutory entitlements. So they go towards things like state pension, incapacity benefit, maternity allowance, paternity allowance, those sorts of things. And it's important to remember that for sole traders and for partnerships, they pay what is called Class 2 national insurance contributions. Whereas if you are operating as a limited company and you are an employee of your own company, then you are subject to what is called Class 1 national insurance contributions.
That's really helpful. Can you just explain to me a little bit about what triggers a business becoming VAT registered?
Value-added tax, or VAT, is really applicable to businesses whose turnover is likely to exceed at any point in the year the current threshold. And really, once the business reaches that threshold, then they have to, by law, register with Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, and they actually have to register within 30 days of exceeding that particular threshold. VAT registered companies are then required by law to charge VAT on goods and services, and actually then effectively they're charging that VAT to their customers.
I know this whole process of taxation and record keeping is something that fills a lot of business owners with dread or a little bit of fear. I imagine there's lots of help through Business Link York and North Yorkshire. Could you just explain a little bit of that to me in terms of how a business owner can access your support service to ensure that they're accurately dealing with taxation and with record keeping?
There's a wealth of information, and I would refer people to the Startup Organiser, and really by following that through, it's going to give people a lot of further information.
Thank you for joining us. We hope this information has been hugely valuable to you, as well as tremendously interesting, and has allowed you to go from the process of considering a business venture, starting to plan it, beginning the marketing process, and taking it right through to the correct structure and the bookkeeping and taxation issues that are also so important for its management. Come to our website and take advantage of all the information and the resources which are there for you. Come to www.hereforbusiness.co.uk and remember the number 4 is in the middle of that phrase, or call our information centre on York 01904 68 6000 and speak to our team for further support and guidance. Thank you very much for joining us. We wish you every success with your venture.